in Canada and the United States. He frequently wore cheesy disguises and sometimes carried a leather shoulder bag.
Your turn.
For years, his true identity remained a mystery, and he was dubbed the Satchel Bandit. Finally, on May 30th, 1991, the bandit's luck began to run out. During a botched robbery attempt in Oak Grove, Oregon, an alert security guard wrote down the plate numbers on the getaway car. Police were finally able to identify the robber who had eluded them for so long. He was Charles Warren Boomer. Under the name of Robert Taylor, Boomer had been living in British Columbia with his wife Rachel, who was deaf and learning disabled. In September of 1991, Boomer realized that the net was closing in on him, and he sent his wife to the police.
What's this?
In a compassionate two-page letter, Boomer asked that Rachel not be implicated in his wrongdoing.
You should understand that this woman holds no responsibility for my actions. It would be a shame if undue pressure were applied against her in the mistaken belief that she was somehow at fault because of our relationship.
Rachel Taylor was released and never charged with any crime, but Charles Warren Boomer had disappeared. After we last broadcast this story, authorities in Canada began receiving 4 to 5 phone calls a day regarding Charles Boomer. They began to track his movements, but Boomer always seemed to be one step ahead. Then on June 26, 1992, police got the break they'd been waiting for. At 7:30 that morning, authorities were contacted by the manager of a restaurant in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
The manager of the place he was eating at called in a suspicious person that he believed possibly was Charles Boomer, that we responded to the area and arrested him.
10 minutes later, Charles Warren Boomer was taken into custody wearing one of his typical disguises, a cheap wig and a baseball hat. At the time, Boomer was carrying a loaded handgun, several $1,000s in cash, and a police scanner, which was turned off. Boomer's appearance changed markedly once his disguise was removed. Police learned that the robber, who had stolen more than $1 million through the years, was living in a tent outside town. When authorities searched the campsite, they found a list of banks. Some Boomer had already robbed, others he was apparently planning to hit. They also discovered maps of possible escape routes, survival gear, and a list of police radio frequencies from both Canada and the United States. Charles Warren Boomer is currently being held without bail on 11 counts of armed robbery. 43 additional counts are pending. If convicted on all counts, Boomer could receive a sentence of life in prison. Canadian Mounted Police arrested Ryan Jason Love for the murder of Lucy Turmel. The arrest came as a result of an intensive investigation, which focused on the murder weapon and forensic evidence found at the scene. Love was tried and convicted of second-degree murder.